This week's podcast is brought to you by Tracy's National Night Out. Join us Tuesday, August 4th from 5 to 8 p.m. at Central Park in Tracy. The evening will include a free will donation hamburger or hot dog meal, music, foam slide pad, and inflatables. The scavenger hunt starts July 28th. National Night Out, Tuesday, August 4th. Stronger together, safer neighborhoods.
Welcome to the 53rd Headlight Hot Seat Podcast, and my guest today is Dave Dieter. He's a first-time guest with the podcast. Thanks for joining us today, Dave.
You're welcome.
Before we get into what we want to get into, let's get to know you a little bit, Dave.
All right. Was born in 1960, baby boomer, in Stevens County Memorial Hospital in Morris, Minnesota. Grew up in a little town of Chicago, and born and raised there, graduated, and did a little schooling after that at a tech school. Didn't really care for it too much. Ended up working construction for a few years, and during that time, I joined the National Guard. And after 6 years in the Guard, I got the GI Bill. I went back to school for fluid power technology and spent the next 30-plus years of my life in distribution, fluid power distribution and industrial distribution. And I was offered an early retirement in 2019 and early 2020, right as the COVID thing was getting going. I retired and then I did a home business. I built hydraulic power units, and I'd been doing that full time since then. Got married in 1989, just as I was finishing my tech school at Alexandria Technical School for Fluid Power Technology. And 4 kids, spread out a little bit.
What are their names?
Oldest is Dan. Daniel lives down in Portland, Texas, just outside of Corpus Christi. My oldest son lives here, my second oldest son, Matthew, lives here in Tracy. And third son, Andrew, works for the post office here in town. And my daughter works at a law office in Montevideo.
Now, is Dan involved with the flooding down in Texas at all? Has he had experiences with that?
No, he did that hurricane a few years ago.
Okay.
He got displaced from where he was living and had to move back to they had lived in San Antonio. That's where his wife is from, that area. So
Okay.
Moved back there for a while, but they're back in that Corpus Christi area. But I don't think there's any flooding where he's at.
Well, that's good. The weather these days, I go on the website and I look at all the stuff going on with not just the heat dome that has affected us, but the weather down south.
Yeah.
Texas and Louisiana and Florida, they always get hit so hard. It's sad.
Yeah, not sure if he's had anything to do with that. He hasn't said anything anyway.
Well, I gotta give you credit. You're the first guest I've had who has given his birth date year. That surprised me.
Maybe I should have done that.
No,
Okay.
I appreciate your candor and your honesty in that.
Yeah.
You are the commander here at the American Legion in Tracy, right?
Right.
How did you get involved in that?
Well,
I think it had something to do with Mr. Wall, right?
Well, actually, the reason I joined the National Guard, if you're ready for this long story,
Go ahead.
Kyle Radke, a good friend of mine, and he's been a member of the Legion for many years, and he also does the Honor Guard and Color Guard. Honor Guard is where we honor our veterans at their funeral with a rifle salute and present the family with a flag and play taps. And he had been doing that for many years, and there was an event, this would have been, let me think, 2022, 21, 22, somewhere in there, where they were at a funeral, and they were out at the grave site, and our bugler, he plays with a trumpet, and he always takes the mouthpiece out of the trumpet, and he kind of, warms up just playing in there. And one of our older veterans that was there holding the flag, I believe, maybe he was holding a rifle. I wasn't there, but anyway, he had kind of lost his balance, and he fell against the guy with the trumpet. And as he was going down, he put his hand down with the mouthpiece, and the stem of it went right into the mud. This was right before this was going to happen. So they're frantically trying to find a stick, to clean it out, and they got it cleaned out. But he was telling me the story, and I said, well, do you need help with that? I said, I'm a veteran. I'd gladly help out. I really would like to do that. And so he got me set up and went to the first meeting and didn't know anybody there. Harley Wall and Jan Zvisker and who else was there?
Cossey? What's Cossey?
Dave Cossey and Daryl Jensen and these guys. And I went to the first meeting and just started asking questions. What do you guys do? What's your mission? What events do you participate in? And they were all like, nobody's ever asked us these questions before. And they said, you coming back to the next meeting? I said, yeah, I'll come back, and went back to the next meeting. And one of the first things Harley Wall said at that time, and he had been the commander for about 10 years, I think. He said, I just want you to know you're going to be the next commander. And I said, whatever,
That sounds like Harley. Rest in peace.
Yeah, yes, Harley. That was tough because we became friends very quickly and good friends. And, got to know his wife, Jane, very well and just really enjoyed being with those two. And it was, so this would have been in that fall of that year. And I did my first funeral in December. I got to tell you this story too before we finish the other one. But it was Norm DeBleek, if you guys know who he is. And
Sure.
it's out at the Catholic Cemetery right on the north side. And it was right around Christmas, and it was bitter cold. The wind was howling that day, and we were standing in snow dang, we're up to our knees. And fortunately, our back was to the wind, so we had that going for us. But before we got out there, we met at the Legion, and Harley comes up to me and he goes, I'm going to have you play the bugle today. And it's like, what? I don't know anything about that. And he goes, well, you better hurry because we're going to be out there in about half an hour.
Yeah.
And he goes, don't worry about it. It's electronic. It's a real bugle, but it's got an insert that fits in the end and electronics, and you just hit the button and it plays taps.
But he didn't lead with that.
No, he didn't. No,
he made you believe you had to play.
Yeah, it's like, God dang you, Harley. And so we went out there and froze our butts off. But it's good. I kind of knew Norm a little bit, but not really well. But
Right.
It's always an honor for me to do that. And I feel so strongly about that. And we've got one coming up in a few days here too that we're going to do. And I just love doing it. I'm so happy that I have that opportunity and that Kyle talked me into doing this. But so then comes spring that year, and every meeting Harley says, just want you to know you're going to be the next commander. And I say, we'll see.
I can hear him saying that.
And come to that meeting, it was a week before Memorial Day, and Harley's health was failing. And normally when we have the meeting, he sits in his chair, and Jans was the adjutant, and he's sitting right next to him, and everybody else sits out in front. And he wasn't sitting there when I got there. And it's like, well, what's going on? He goes, well, you're taking over as commander tonight. It's like, oh, okay, I guess I am. And 5 years later, or 5 days later, he passed away. So, and then Memorial Day program was, and he passed away on a Saturday, and Monday was a Memorial Day program. And he goes, oh, when we changed command, he goes, by the way, you're going to do the Memorial Day program too. And it's like, I don't know, I'm not real comfortable getting up in front of a lot of people, but I'll do it, and turns out it wasn't quite as bad as I was expecting it to be. And I've done several of them since. And they get easier.
Harley's health notwithstanding, you don't really say no to Harley. I mean, he didn't ask you. I know that. I understand. He told you. He voluntold you.
Definitely told me.
And it's hard to say no. It was hard to say no to that guy.
Yeah. No. And like I said, we got to be really good friends, and we'd known each other for 7 months, maybe 8 months, but kind of felt like I've known him for years, and so it was difficult. I kind of knew that something was coming up, but I didn't know it was going to be that quick, and it hit me pretty hard too. And
tough loss.
I think it did for a lot of people, and and Harley, I think he was 91, so he'd had a good life, and
it still kind of caught us by surprise, I think, because I go to church, or he went to my church, he and Jane, and all of a sudden he was gone. I mean, he lived a full life.
Yeah.
And you never thought of someone like him not being around.
Yeah. No, that was tough. But, so that's my introduction there. And now, since I've been in there, I keep asking, anybody want to take over? And there's like no takers.
No, so you're not doing it right. You got to do it like Harley. You tell him. You don't ask him, Dave. Tell him.
But, when I went to the first meetings, there'd be 6 or 7 guys there. And then, as time goes on, some of these guys, they were just get to the point in their life where they just physically can't do it anymore. Or, like with some of them, they just, they passed on. So got less people at the meetings, and it finally came down to me and Dave Cossey were the only ones going to the meeting. It's like, well, is there really a reason to keep having this meeting? And, there was nobody else that had any involvement for me to go, hey, you're going to be the next guy. So, I would love to pass it on. I mean, I enjoy doing it, but, I don't want to be the guy doing it forever, because then, nobody else maybe gets that opportunity. And, for a lot of these veterans, they don't want that opportunity. They don't want to do it.
They don't want the responsibility, but that's the cross that you guys bear, along with a lot of service groups, people aging out and sadly passing away, and there's no one to come up. Everyone's facing it.
Yeah.
So
a lot of these veterans, back in the, post-World War II, Korea, Vietnam, these guys came back and they all wanted to be members of the Legion. and you get these guys that are finishing their service now or still in National Guard, whatever, and they don't want anything to do with it. And it's just a change in the mindset of the veterans
Yeah, unfortunate
compared
change
to,
too.
yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Because we get very few new veterans.
Yep.
And, we keep losing like you said, the ones that age out, we'll say. But yeah, it just gets, our numbers keep dwindling, and it has been. I look back on the records from years ago, there was 120 Legion members in the Tracy Legion.
Wow.
And now we're down to about 60, just over 60. I think it's 62 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and not many of them are really active members, are they?
Almost none of them.
That's the problem.
We've got a decent sized honor guard. We could sure use some more. And if there's anybody out there that's interested, it costs you $50 a year to be a member. You don't have to be involved if you don't want to, but if you want to, there's things you can do. And honor guard is what I consider our primary mission for this community. We honor our veterans at their funeral, and I feel very strongly about it. And I know Kyle does. He's our honor guard commander. And color guard. Color guard is similar, but we do like flag ceremonies at the sporting event, or like we do at the Memorial Day program and the Veterans Day programs, and in any other thing. If anybody's got an event and it's like, hey, can Legion come out and present the flag at the national anthem or something, we'd be happy to do that, and that's what we do. So
while we're on the topic of the American Legion, of course, most people know that you're not in your old building anymore. Or are you still?
Well,
are you phasing yourself out of there?
Yeah, actually, we're moving into the new community center. Our old Legion building is an old building, and you walk in there and it smells like an old building. And it's it had its purpose at a time, but we really don't use it hardly at all. We do pancake breakfast there during the winter 4 or 5 times, and we do a sweet corn feed once the sweet corn is ready to go, and we have a potluck after the Veterans Day program, and that's really about all we use it for. And it's not cheap having that building. You're paying your taxes, you're paying your insurance, you got heat, you got electricity, you got water, sewer, you got all that stuff. And it's expensive just to have that building. And if we're not using it, and we don't have fundraisers. The only thing we have fundraisers for, or that we do, is the pancake breakfast, and all the money we get from that goes to scholarships for graduating seniors. So we really don't have any fundraisers. So, $3,000, $3,500 a year to have that building, it's hard to find that money. And, years past, they had pull tabs, and they made a lot of money, and that money was saved, and we've been slowly going through that. And it's getting to a point where, we can't afford that building. It's an old building. It only takes one event, something in the building to go wrong where it's going to take all the money we have. So working with Tom Dobson and Jeff Carpenter with the city to move into the community center. And
you're certainly upgrading.
Yeah, I mean,
it works out well for you
our
guys.
space that we have for ourselves is going to be about just under a 10 by 10 little room, but that's all we need. We just need somewhere to put our stuff, our stuff that we use for our honor guard, color guard, and then just our other things. And things we have hanging on the wall, we'll have space for those in there. And
Display.
We're trying to get that done before Thursday, before the open house. But Nancy Dobson, Tom's wife, is helping me with that. And she's very helpful and got plenty of experience. So I think it'll be nice when it's done. But once that's done, we'll get the rest of our stuff moved out of that building. And then Tom said he's got somebody that's interested in it, but he won't tell me who it is. So, if we can sell it, and we're not looking to make a whole lot of money off it. If someone's interested in it, if it's a nonprofit, we'll probably give it to them, just so they can utilize it, and instead of it just sitting there
That'd be
empty.
nice.
But I think there's a private individual that just wants to use it for like a shop for some things that he wants to do, and that's fine. We'll make it affordable so he can afford it. And
we'll stay tuned for that. News nugget coming down hopefully pretty soon.
Yeah.
Let's pivot to one of my favorite sports, golf. Dave is a member of the Tracy Country Club Board of Directors, and we're fresh off the member guest tournament. How did that go?
Great, actually. We always want to see more. There, back in the day, I think talking with one of the older members that was on the board, he said in the heyday they'd have 47 teams. So the member guest is just that. It's a member, and you bring a guest, or it could be 2 members if you want, but at least one of them has to be a member. And this year we had 22-man or women teams. It doesn't have to be all men. And so we had 20, and it was a lot of fun. That's a really fun event. It's a 2-day event.
It's very
and,
fun.
And it's based on handicap, and actually, if you have a high handicap, that's an advantage. So, in fact,
That's what they call sandbagging.
yeah,
I'm not saying Dave Leonard is a sandbagger by any means.
he's the one who won. But
No, that's why I said it.
yeah, he's
No offense, Dave.
actually he went out golfing the other day, and I was in the clubhouse. He come in. I said, "How'd you do?" And he goes, "I shot a 42." It's like, wow, that's a good round, And I didn't golf in that member guest, but we had a decent turnout, and in the last several years, we've kind of fallen back on the tournaments. Not so much that we don't do them. It's just that we don't have anybody that organizes it and gets ready for it and make sure we have, if we're going to do food and, door prizes and all that. So we started a new committee this year, and I mentioned a name I mentioned earlier, Kyle Radke. Like I said, we've been friends for many years, but he's a Legion member, but he's also a member out there, and he golfs in a lot of tournaments. So he was the guy that we needed to chair that committee for organizing tournaments and memberships and league play as well. Yeah. So he's kind of running that, and between him and I and Mike Schmidt, the three of us are on that committee, and we want to start doing more tournaments. So
now let's pump the brakes on the word tournaments, because you and I spoke last week about the Legion outing coming up, and I think the overriding feeling from you guys like you and Mike and Kyle is that we don't want to use that word really, because that might be intimidating to some people.
Yeah.
Because what you guys want to do, Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, is set up these outings, these events. Talk about that a little bit, and how we're not going to focus on, the best golfers, the winners or losers.
Yeah, exactly. And, there's a lot of these that are tournaments, where you're competing against others. And there's cash prizes for a lot of these, or, the club tournament, Mike Schmidt, the name I mentioned earlier, he won it last year. So whenever we mention his name, it follows by,
club champion. Of course. You never get sick of hearing that.
But the Legion event, this is something new. We're calling it the first annual because we hope there's going to be more to come. But this was spearheaded by our he's the membership coordinator for this region, and I think he's the vice commander for District 7. I thought he was the vice adjutant, but I think he's the vice commander. But John Jones is his
from
name.
Echo, right?
He's from Echo. He's an Echo post there is where he's out of, and he contacted a bunch of us commanders and said, "Hey, let's get together and see if we could come up with some fundraisers." Because again, we don't have fundraisers. It's very difficult to get through a season and not have spent a lot more money than we brought in. Unfortunately, we have some members that are very generous and have made some significant donations to our posts that has kept us afloat. But so for this event we're having, it's not a tournament. There's probably most people won't even keep score. It's just a fun day. Come out, golf, bring your kids. They can golf if they just want to putt, if they, whatever they want to do, throw some balls out, let them hit them. And if you're not a golfer or have never golfed, and you hear everybody say how fun golf is, well, this is your opportunity to come out and try it and see if you like it, or just have a fun day out on the golf course, hoping for good weather and all, but have some door prizes, give some things away, maybe put some obstacles out on the course to make it fun, and just make it a fun day. And it's no competition. It'll be a nice meal. We got Fultz is going to prepare a bunch of pork for us. I don't even know for sure exactly what they're doing. I think it's it's not pork chops, but I'm not even sure. Kyle arranged that.
It will be good. We know that.
Oh yeah, it'll definitely be good. So it's $50 for adults. That's the day of golfing, the meal, all the prizes, and whatever we have, and $25 for 16 and under. And if you got some real young kids coming out, we'd probably let them play and have some fun. And
golf is a tough sport for kids to get into, unless their parents are into it, because it's not cheap. Buying clubs and whatnot, and green fees and memberships, or if you don't have one, or just getting out to the course if you're young. So I think this is a great way to, and Royo did the same thing. They do the same thing with getting kids out to the golf course too. I think this is a great way to get kids involved. If you want more information, you can call the country club at 629-4666, and you can rent a car too, because that's, all on them.
Yes.
To
The cart rental is additional because we don't own the carts. The Legion doesn't. So that's the golf course owns them. So if you want to rent a cart, there are some members that would probably let you use their cart. So
that
we can work around that. If you want to come out there, you want to use a cart and say, I don't want it. It's $15 to rent a cart. So it's not a whole lot, but, so yeah, just come on out. If you want to walk the course, you can. If you want to ride in a cart, if you want to just go for a golf cart ride, you can do that too.
And that's all day, Friday, July 31st?
July 31st, and we're starting at noon, and we'll go till either gets dark or everybody leaves. So if you want to come out after work, bring the family out, come out at 5:30, 6 o'clock. And
so there's no set shotgun start at 10?
No, and again, it's not a tournament, and we're not, it's just come out when you, I think I'm ready to go golfing, you go out there, and if we got clubs to rent, if you don't have golf clubs, we'll set you up with some clubs, and if you just want to go out and putt on all the greens or whatever, I mean, it's wide open. We don't have anything set where here's how we're going to do this. It's you come out and you decide what you want to do, and then we'll have fun. So that's all it is. It's a day of fun. It's nothing competitive.
Golf should be fun for the most. Senior tournament. Sorry, I used the word tournament again. Darn it. August 14th, the senior event.
Well, it is a tournament. We could call it event.
Event sounds more fun than tournament.
Yeah, I know Mike Schmidt, he's kind of on that too. He goes, let's find a different name for it. It's like, well, I don't know what you want to call it. So it's an event. But I mean, it's still, you keep score, and you're going to be flighted based on your handicap. And there will be a winner, and there'll be cash prizes for this. The entry fee, I think it's $50 for the entry fee on that.
And it's for ages 50 and up, men
50
and women?
and up, yep. And if it's based on your handicap, if you don't know your handicap, but you want to come out and golf in the event, we'll trust that you'll, tell us where you're normally at. If you're, I usually golf 45 to 47, we'll give you a handicap based off of that. So, or whatever. Or if you have no idea, I don't know how we'll do that. I guess we'll figure it out.
But again, we're not talking about serious stakes here. I know this is a quote unquote tournament, but if you're not, like you said, if you're unsure, I'm mid 40s, I'm low 40s, you guys know, you're probably about a 10 or a 12, something like that.
Right. Yeah. And it once you get going and, guys start golfing good, then they get competitive, and the guys that are not having a good round, then they just, play and drink beer or whatever they want to do. And
hey, that's fun too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's pretty rare that I go out and golf and I don't at least get a couple beers out of the clubhouse.
It's part of the experience, Dave. I think you have to do it.
It's fun for me. And I always try to do well. And actually I golfed really good last night. I shot a 42.
There you go.
I'm usually a 49 to 52 range. So,
but see, it's those kind of rounds that keep you coming back.
Yeah.
Those nice shots, those nice rounds.
And I found out the key to why I golf so well, because I didn't have any beer with me last night. It was rare occasion that I don't have any beers.
So that can work both ways, though, because sometimes I golf better with a Bloody Mary in the morning and whatnot.
Well, it's, I don't want to say, well, I can't drink beer because I won't golf very well. I'd rather drink beer and golf terrible.
That's more fun. Well, both are fun in their own right. But
and it's your company, who you're golfing with.
Yes, very much.
I've golfed a few times by myself, but I'd rather have somebody else.
I used to golf alone a lot, and it's something's missing.
Yeah.
That camaraderie you get with another person.
Well, and part of it is when you're doing it by yourself, that's all you're doing is golfing. You're not, if you're waiting for somebody else to golf, it gives you a little time to kind of relax a little bit, maybe, or something. But if you're by yourself, you hit the ball, then you drive up and you hit it again, and there's no breaks in there. And if you're on the putting green, you're just the only one putting. You're not make a putt, get close, but don't make it, and then you wait, you watch everybody else putt, and then you go up and do your thing to finish up. But no, I got involved I got on the board here, I don't know, it's been probably 6 years ago maybe, and got talked into being the treasurer. And, well, that can't be so bad. I'll probably regret this, but it can't be that bad. Oh,
you don't say no very well, do you, Dave?
I don't. I've told many people that I don't know how to say no. It's like, and I don't remember, somebody was out there the other day. Oh, it actually was Teresa, the clubhouse manager, and I said, why don't you have somebody else do that? And I said, well, I talked to them, and they said, well, talk to Dave.
Like, the buck stops with
Dave.
Dave.
So it's like everything comes back to me. But I volunteer a lot out there, not just doing the books, which is a lot of time, because you're doing the daily stuff and paying all the bills.
That's the fun stuff.
Yeah, and it's a lot. But I just do a lot of other stuff out there on the grounds, in the clubhouse. There's just so many things. And
but the grounds crew, should be commended for the job they're doing, because the course looks really good this year.
I think I started golfing out there in 2002, and this is easily the nicest that course has ever been. Fairways are pretty good. There's some weeds here and there, clover and such, but it's not bad, and the greens are
I'm
exceptional.
impressed with the greens because I know a lot of work has been done over the last few years with patching up. I think number 2, number 8, for example.
Yeah, those were the worst.
And the greens are incredible. And I say that because I made a lot of long putts the other day and pretty happy about that. But I give credit to the ground screw. And
Yeah, you didn't make your putt and it hits something and all of a sudden it's way left or whatever.
Yep.
But we hired a consultant a few years ago. This is his third year, actually. Third or fourth year? I don't remember. Third year, I think. But hired a consultant that's got many, many years of experience with the turf. And he comes out once a week, goes around to every green. He goes, here's what you need to do there. And that spot needs this and whatever chemicals or too much water, not enough water. Grass is a little too high. When I say a little too high, they're talking about thousandths of an inch on those greens. It's because the grounds manager the other day said, well, he goes, I'm going to raise the more 6,000ths of an inch. Is that going to make a difference?
Right?
Yeah. He goes, really? Is that, 6,000ths? He goes, oh, that's all it takes. I think that's what he told. I don't remember the number, but it wasn't much. And
Minuscule.
It's like minuscule amount. And, just because it's starting to get a little dry out there. And by making the grass, keeping the grass just a little bit longer, it doesn't dry out well, it's mostly sand under there, but it doesn't dry out the roots
base.
so much. Yeah, it allows a little bit more moisture to stay in the greens. And they water them twice a day, but late in the afternoon, if it's really hot and sunny, it can dry them greens out. You can go from beautiful greens to not beautiful in a matter of just a couple of hours. So, they watch it really close and they've done a fantastic job.
Very much so. I'm glad we were able to sneak them in there because they deserve a big pat on the back and money well spent on the greens.
Yes. It's not cheap to hire him, but it was worth every penny of it. And we're going to continue on with him because, and he even said he goes around all the golf courses in the area and he said, you guys have the best looking greens in this area. So I'm pretty proud of that.
That's great.
And we got some big things going on. We hired a cook to prepare meals, full menu. Got a great reputation for best hamburgers. She won the burger battle here this spring in this area, and she's going to have a full menu.
Is that 7 days a week?
Yep, we're hoping to. Yeah,
Okay.
She's got a big following, so we're hoping that a lot of that crowd comes out and supports our golf course because it's difficult to survive being a small golf course in rural Minnesota. It's difficult to get enough people out there to keep ahead of the bills and everything going on. And being the treasurer, I see that every day. And sometimes it's like, what are we going to do here? We got these big expenses, and every time you turn around, there's something else. You're buying chemicals, for the grounds, and then your insurance is X dollars a month, which is crazy, and it's just all the day-to-day expenses add up a lot, and you got to get a lot of people out there golfing and a lot of members paying their annual memberships just to survive. So,
well, it's also nice not just financially, but to provide some food, not just the typical bar food or pizza or whatever.
Right.
If people know that there's going to be food served, good food,
right,
that's a draw too.
Yeah, and that's in this community right now, there's nowhere to go to sit down and have someone come and take your order for whatever you want, a burger, or I guess she's got these deep fried tacos that are pretty popular. I haven't had one yet, but I heard they're pretty good, and just order off the menu. There's nowhere to do that here in Tracy. So
well, we have the Caboose, but they're not open on Monday.
Yeah, don't they open at 4 or something?
Restaurant. Yeah, right, for lunch.
So the noon meal, there's really no good
That's
options.
a good point. Yep, you can't. Maybe you go to Food Pride if you want, but I think this is a combination of golf and grub, so to speak.
Yeah.
Which I think will work out nice.
Yeah, I think it's a good pairing, and we see it with other golf courses in the area. Sanborn just got bruisers to move into there, and I think that's going real well. Look at Sleepy Eye, they're a long ways away, but you drive by there on a Sunday evening and there's 30, 40 cars in the parking lot.
Wow.
And it's after dark, so they're not golfing.
They're not golfing. Not doing.
Tyler's doing well. Marshall's got a restaurant. All of these.
Hendricks has a nice one too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we are going to have some fun now, and I use air quotes around fun because it's trivia time. Dave's a little nervous, but I have two categories, Dave. I have random, or I have golf. because I like to customize my questions a little bit with my guest. So the random is, of course, just a shot in the dark. You don't know what you're going to get. Golf, they're not too hard, just to let you know.
Can we do like every other one, random, and then a
We can
golf?
try. Yeah, let's do it. There's 5 questions.
Okay.
We'll start with a random one.
All right.
This one's right up my alley. What is the only U.S. state that can be typed in using only one row of a standard keyboard? I know this because I stare at a keyboard all day.
I've heard this one before, but I don't remember what it was. It was like,
If you can picture a keyboard,
yeah.
don't sneak a peek at
I
mine.
know I can't see your laptop. I'm on the other side of it.
This is the second row of letters.
Is it a 4-letter?
No, it's a 6. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 6-letter word.
Oh my gosh.
6-letter U.S. state.
Hmm.
You stumped?
I'm trying to think of a 6-letter state to start with. All right, you got me. I don't know
I
that.
got you. That would be Alaska.
Oh,
ALAS. Yep, they're all on there. I'm looking at my keyboard right now. Okay,
I
let's
must have got that one.
switch gears to golf. What is the term for a score of 3 strokes under par on a hole?
that's an albatross.
That's correct. Or double eagle. You could say that too.
Yes.
Okay, number 3, back to random. Jim Henson is the creator of what beloved cast of characters?
Muppets.
2 for 3. And let's go back to golf. This is a tricky one, but I want to see if you get it. What is the standard size of a golf hole in diameter?
I'm going to say,
He's looking at his hand as he makes a half
yeah,
circle.
hold my fingers apart. That's about 4 inches.
4.25.
Ooh, not too far.
You're very close. So for the 5th one, I'm going to give you a choice. You want to go random or golf?
Let's go golf. That seemed like I did a little better there.
Got you. I got a really easy one, but that's way too easy for you. I'm going. This is easy as well. Which golfer holds the record for the most major wins?
I'm going to say,
It is not Tiger.
I'm going to say, is he still alive?
Yes.
Arnold Palmer.
No. I thought he passed.
Arnold Palmer. Is that what I'm thinking of? Oh, maybe he did. I don't know.
This is a very popular former golfer. I have interviewed him actually,
Really?
and his nickname is the Golden Bear.
Jack Nicklaus.
Yes, sir. Jack Nicklaus. Dave, you are off the hot seat. Thanks for joining me today.
Ooh, all right. Thank you.
Good job.
Appreciate it.
This week's podcast was brought to you by Tracy's National Night Out. Join us on Tuesday, August 4th from 5 to 8 p.m. at Central Park in Tracy. The evening will include a free will donation hamburger or hot dog meal, music, foam slide pad, and inflatables. The scavenger hunt starts July 28th. National Night Out, Tuesday, August 4th. Stronger together, safer neighborhoods.